This rather pretty corner of the world is Upper Largo in Fife, and I came here because there's a really old church and old graveyard at the bottom of the hill, and I drove up the hill to get turned round and I found this. So let's go for a wee look first before we go down and look at the older church. It's worth a stop because there are Commonwealth war graves. Let's go and see what we can see. I think this is a very modern graveyard. I think it's still in use, but if there's war graves here, then it must go back to at least the 1940s. Obviously I've just realised that is a bit of an assumption, because obviously this country has been at war since the 1940s. So there it is, right in front of us. Let's go and see if we can see, well, we will see a date. Let's go and see what that date is. He is from the Pioneer Corps, 1946. So this is Sergeant Simpson, Pioneer Corps, formerly of the Royal Artillery, who died in 1946. So yeah, we are in the 1940s. Yeah, 1960s, 1970s, right up to date. A bit too modern for our tastes, although there are some nice big crosses over here. So let's at least go and look at the crosses. And there's people walking their dogs and wondering what I'm up to. They are quite cool and a tiny bit ostentatious. They're also quite modern. That one there is 2016. So yeah, let's not go looking at modern gravestones. That would make this channel a lot less interesting, both to do and very probably to watch. I see now this one says erected by Alexander Fair in memory of his son Alexander Fair, who died at Pratis 1896, but I don't think that is an 1896 gravestone. It goes up to 1980, 2010 actually, down the very bottom. Yeah, this is all a bit modern and ergo not quite as interesting for us. So I think we'll probably head down to the bottom of the hill to the old, oh wait a minute, what's this? That's quite smart, isn't it? Is that glass? No, that's black granite on grey granite, and that is from 1926. It did say Commonwealth War graves, plural, so let's go and see if we can find the other one or ones. And then it gets a little bit more interesting. I came up here and I thought this was a sort of for future expansion area, and it's not, because this stone here says, remembering the unmarked graves here of many known and loved by God. So this must have been the local area's sort of pauper's graveyard, possibly, people that couldn't afford that headstone. No idea, but that's why that bit there is empty, and the rest of it has got graves all the way around and a nice view. Oh wow, I just looked over my shoulder for the first time. There is the Forth Estuary and the seaside and stuff. I finally bit the bullet and bought some little DJI wireless microphones to go with the GoPro, so it's got a little fluffy thing on it. It's a bit more discreet than the big Rode fluffy thing that I used before. The camera's still pretty obvious, but at least it's not got a huge microphone hanging off the bottom of it anymore. And there you see, this stone has messed up my theories of dating, sacred to the memory of James Leslie, born 1756 and died 1854, and of his wife Mary, who born 1766 and died 1820, and of a daughter who died 1848. So that doesn't fit with anything round about it. That is quite an old gravestone. I wonder if it's been moved here from somewhere else. Oh no, it's back in the 1800s. Now here's a question for you. Do you know what Robinson Crusoe's real name was? It was Alexander Selkirk, who died 21st of June 1866. I wonder if that was him. I'll have to find out. 1866, 1867 and James Selkirk 1874. So yeah, unexpectedly we've launched ourselves back into the 1800s, and that's in 1865. Oh, wow, okay, I was not expecting that. Let's keep going and see what else we can find. And then here we're back into the 1930s again, so those 1800 stones are just that one little bit over there. I wonder if that's like the oldest part of this graveyard. Oh, there's somebody quite important. James Alexander Fleming, KC King's Counsel, I think. Sheriff of Fife and Kinross, who died in 1926, and his wife, who was not a sheriff. Quite a cool wee old building hidden away in the corner. I'm going to go for a look through the hole. Nothing will jump out at me, I hope, because it's padlocked from the outside, so anybody in there has been locked in. Which hasn't happened. Right, 1867 for old Henry Jameson. Yeah, there are older stones dotted about here, so this is quite cool. From what I know of the little church at the bottom of the hill that I've never been to, we're going to find some much older things down there, so that'll be a wee walk once I finish looking around here. Hello, little angel, how old are you and what have you got in your hand? So you've lost an arm, so you've got nothing there because you're a little bit armless, and you're holding, I don't know, can't see what that is. Living memory of Willie somebody blah blah blah, 1933. Okay, we're back into the 1930s. It got a bit optimistic for a while, but we're back into the 1900s now, so boo. This is interesting only because I know where this house is. This is sacred to the memory of David Gillis, net manufacturer. And we were doing some research in the local area for our other channel, and somebody said, oh yeah, that big long building was a Networks. So this is the guy that obviously owned the Networks, and he died in 1923 down at Cardy House. This just caught my eye on the way past looking for war graves. This is not actually a war grave, but this is also got Lieutenant the Reverend William Neve Monteith, Minister of Ely, who was killed in action 25th September 1915, aged 37, and he is buried in France. So we will have a Commonwealth War Graves headstone, it's just not here, because he's not here. Okay, this has proven to be a little bit more interesting than I thought it was going to be, but we still only found one Commonwealth War Grave and a few 1800s stones. So I think we're going to head down now to the church, which I'm hoping is much older. We'll soon find out. But on the way, I've got sidetracked, as I usually do. This is another military family, John Henry Baxter of Gilston, who died in 1908, and Ralph Frederick Baxter, who's a second lieutenant in the Royal Sussex Regiment, who's killed in France in 1915. And then John Edward Baxter, a second lieutenant in the Scots Guards, killed in action in Italy in 1944. And then Noel at the bottom, who wasn't killed in action, oh, but he was a military man, Lieutenant Colonel, 2nd Hampshire Regiment, died in 1950. Right, definitely heading down this way now, unless I get sidetracked by anything cool like that. David Tivendale, a farmer from Little Pilmuir, who died in 1928, and his wife and various family members. And a quite old looking stone there that is memory of, is that another another Twindale who died 1862, if you can see that, because I can only just see that. Quite a nice place and very peaceful, but as I said, we are now heading out, so we'll see if we see any more war graves on the way out. If not, we're heading down to the old church and the graveyard at the bottom of the hill, so I'll see you when we get there. And I've just come along there and going down here. Here is another Commonwealth War Grave. This is Lieutenant W.A. Freeborn, Royal Naval Volunteer Reserve, from HMS Victory 1944, so still Second World War. Right, definitely heading down the hill now. If I'd done this without the gate in the way, it would have been more impressive, but over there, that is the church for which we are heading. That big church-shaped thing. My finger is in the rough vicinity of over there somewhere. Never been up here before. What a pretty wee place. Anyway, that is a church that we are trying to get into, but I've not yet found a gate. There's lots of roadworks and stuff happening down there, so I don't know if I can actually get in. You'd imagine you could still walk in, but these roads are all, as you can see, blocked off. That's about AD 1657, after 55 years absence returning from his travels, a guy called John Wadd Esquire. The tablet was restored in 1897 and 1957. That's quite cool. Anyway, I think we've found a way in, so let's go and see what we can see. Oh, there's a stone in a cage. That's, is that a carved stone? Is it just a standing stone or a what? I have no idea, but it is behind a "you're not getting in" type cage. I can't see anything carved on the front of it, although it does look like it's been shaped at the top. Let's go and see what we can see on the other side, which I'm going to call the back, but might actually, wait a minute, yeah. Oh wow, yeah, that's, can you see the cross there? Right, wow, I wonder what that story is. It's pink at the top and green at the bottom with a band of white in the middle. I wonder if that is natural and that's why it was chosen, like a band of marble going through it or something. No idea. I will see if I can find out anything about that stone, and I will of course let you know. Oh, and this is actually outside the fence. This is William Tate, born 1803, died 1856, and his wife Christina, who died in 1873, and their son and another Christina, etc, etc. Right, I wonder why that's outside. That must have been part of the graveyard at some point. Can't see anything else interesting down there, but lots and lots interesting over here, like this massive slab on the ground, and it says the stone of Robert Leslie, wright and cabinet maker in Largo. It says over there, born 1723 and died 1801. That's quite a big stone, again with quite a lot of family history on it, going all the way down here. Yeah, this is definitely quite old. That was just into the 1800s. I wonder if, as I always say at this point, we'll get back into the 1700s. Oh, and on this stone, which is face down so we can't see a name on it, "Remember, man, as you pass by, remember, man, that you must die. As you are now, so once was I. Remember, man, that you must die." That's like a bad copy of "As I am now, so you shall be. Prepare, my friend, to follow me." Anyway, oh, let's get sidetracked over here by skulls and crossbones and all that good stuff. Skull, crossbone, hourglass. Oh, not quite sure what that is. Looks like a wee sort of smiley gremlin, but I'm sure it's not. It's got writing on the top. Has it got a date? I will find out and I will let you know. If it has, I can't see it. What about you? Have you got a... that'll be another nope. You, come on, you must have something written on. Yes, it's got the word George, who was a smith from Largo, but the rest of it is also gone. So hello, George from Largo. And we've made it. In memory of Mr. John Beatson, who was born at Dysart in 1715 and died at Dromelde, does that say? March 1799, so yeah, back into the 1700s, and his wife, who died in 1803, I think that is, and then what does that say? Captain John Beatson. I said cart. There's a bit of stuff there that makes it look Captain John Beatson. This is to a local farmer. It's all a big farming area. This is William Killick, tenant of Hull House, and D. Lascelles, his wife. The latter died 1790 and the former in 1806. Right, so this is quite an old bit of graveyard. Unfortunately, there aren't a huge number of gravestones here for us to look at, but we'll do what we can, because this one over here looks quite interesting. I love a bit of the oldie worldy script, and this is scripted to the max. But then it's jumped forward 30 years from the last one we looked at. This is erected by John Lumsden and sisters, who don't get a name, they're just and sisters, in memory of their father, James Lumsden, who died the 7th day of December 1832. So it's John is memorialised up there, and sisters, who do not get named. You can see why they moved the graveyard up the hill. This is it's on quite a slope, and I bet it is still quite a few burials here just without headstones. That's quite far gone, that one. There's a little one down there I actually came up here to look at, and it's got nothing on it. And that one, you can make out the odd word, but not a great deal. This is scintillating television. I'm sure you'll probably not agree, but hey-ho, I'm the one with the camera. Nice church though. That is a cracking wee church. And that's got 1623 written on it up there. Now, we know from previous explorations these churches often have interesting things set into the walls, so let's take an actual look at the walls of the church. It's also interesting from here. I think you can pretty clearly see the sort of stages of development, because that bit there is all like red sandstone, and then that bit there is not, and neither is that. And the spire is a sort of different colour of sandstone, so yeah, that looks like the oldest part of the church there. It's had various extensions and outreaches and stuff. Outreaches, probably not the right word, but you know what I mean. And there's a clock on the spire which is almost the right time, which is nice. This is, well, the date's right at the top, so it's not much of a challenge. 1827, sacred to the memory of Jean, daughter of somebody Cunningham, Esquire, of Kinston. Must be another house in the vicinity, or another farm in the vicinity. And on here, set into the old bit of the church, is memory of David Pringle, a tenant from Hatton, and then his daughter and his spouse and his daughter and his daughter, and they all died between 1818 and 1856. Right, let's go around this way. Wow, I bet that was once quite impressive. It's all weathered away to absolutely nothing, but there was something going on at the top there. There's like that sort of Greek pyramid? That Greek temple thing? Pyramid, shut up here. That Greek sort of temple approach, and down the bottom the remains of some crossed tools, digging implements, indicating a farmer, I think, and a hourglass. This is quite a cool stone. It's got a thistle at the top. Scotland are playing Germany at football tomorrow, so good luck to Scotland. It says John Fortune in the N. That N is the wrong way round, and that N isn't, and it says Tet, which I'm sure is tenant, in Pillmoor, and Isbel, not Isabel, but Isbel Ermit, his wife, have deposited hire. This sounds like it's been dictated to somebody and they didn't know how to spell the words. In the hope of a joyful resurrection, 3 of their, T-H-E-R, children. John, who was born Der, D-E-R, yeah, definitely, it's not December, it's Der, 5th, 1755, I think that says, and who died May 21st, 1764. Agnes, born in June the 11th, 1763, and who died April 1760 something. David, born June the 2nd, 17 something, and who died April 26th, 17 something. The two last interred in the same chest and in the same grave. Oh wow, I've never seen that before. That's pretty cool. The two last interred in the same chest and in the same grave. So they must have died around about the same time. Oh yeah, oh dear, look at that. April 25th, 1766. April 26th, 1766. What a wee shame. And on the back of that stone, just to make it even more impressive, at the top we've got an angel with a trumpet, a herald angel I guess. And then we've got two figures holding up these poles, which I'm guessing are holding up the kingdom of heaven. There are pillars, I have no idea. Oh, and they're both standing on quite funky looking skulls. And the other thing is, one of them is a lady. So she's got ladies' hair and she's wearing a dress. I know you can't make these generalisations these days, but these guys, I'm pretty sure that is a lady and that's a man, and he's got quite an impressive sort of tailcoat on and trousers, again standing on quite a funky looking wee skull. What an amazing tombstone. That makes this trip worth it all by itself. Not that the other ones aren't interesting, but that is so cool. This is a fairly ignominious end. I don't know how you say that word, I've tried 3 times, I'm just going to say ignominious. This is a fairly ignominious end. This is the body of... I can't really see what it says, but what I can see is it says 1820 on it somewhere. I just saw it and then stood up and came back down again, and now I can't find it. Yeah, 1820 says it there. Nothing if not professional, in fact not even remotely professional. Here, here's a skull and a bone and an hourglass and some text that's quite far gone, and on this end I'm guessing that is the sort of family's heraldic shield. It's got a chevron up the way and a sort of V-shaped thing down the way. It's yeah, the grave of somebody of some importance with a nice position right in this little corner of the church. And over there, the remains of William Briggs Esquire. Struck lucky again because there's people up changing the candles, so I've got in. There is the district's war memorial up there, and this is cool. This is in memory of Sir Philip Charles Henderson Durham, whose grave is apparently... I'm standing on it. Sorry, Sir Philip. It's got quite an impressive biography for a tiny little village. That is so cool. And I spoke about the stained glass windows. Well, now we get to look at them from the inside, which is always the best side to see them from. Look at that. That is so cool. In loving memory of Amy Constance Baxter of Gilston, born 1853, died 1881. And now she's got that, which is amazing. The glory of God and memory of Thomas Robertson Stewart, who was the clerk and treasurer of this church for 49 years, up until 1955. And there's another really cool stained glass window. I hope the exposure is doing it justice, and that is from the glory of God and the grateful remembrance of Thomas Kershaw Gaskell from 1934. That is so nice. These are all so nice. These churches in the East Neuk of Fife are all just amazing. And these guys here with their things inside the church were the great and the good. There's more over here, going a wee look. And here's some more of the Durham family. This is James Calderwood Durham of Largo. The gentleman here's just been talking about some of the writing and the way these people no doubt described themselves. Uninterrupted fraternal attachment, and that was rare union of moral worth, unsullied integrity and unbounded benevolence. Yeah, I bet he's... I wonder what other people actually thought of him. And there's his wife, Elizabeth, over there. Oh, his daughter, sorry. That is the daughter of Colonel Sheldon of Flitwick House, Bedfordshire. Born in 1757, died 1826. And there, one last stained glass window, just to spoil you. And the last wee bit, before we get back and see what the dog's been up to, this is James Kittle Esquire, who was a writer in Edinburgh and a native of Largo, and died in 1820. But it then says what he did. He bequeathed £600 sterling to the Kirk Session. And this is interesting. This is like, that's an S and that's an S, but they've got the F-shaped S before they do it there. And they do it there, so it's not a mistake, it's deliberate. So he gave money for educating 4 boys, the other half to be applied for behoof, a word I've not seen before, of a certain class of poor persons in the parish. So he was another benefactor, and that's why his name is up there on the church forevermore. That was so cool. It's always so nice when that happens. Just timed it right, walk up the hill, and they were just going to change the candles in the church. So they had a nice wee chat. They liked chatting. I think they were glad to have a visitor. And I did find out this is a 10th century Pictish stone. It's called the Largo stone, and it actually was found in 2 halves. So that line across the middle that I thought might have been like a line of marble, it's not. It's been glued together with concrete. Apparently Historic Environment Scotland are looking at how it can be conserved, but there's some concern or some debate over who's responsible for it. which means who's got to pay for it basically. It needs to be conserved, but they don't know where the money is going to come from. Be a shame if it deteriorated more, but hey-ho. And expanding on my ideas of how the church has developed, that was it before 1600. That was just the one building, and then 1840 it looked like that, 1894 it got like that, and then 1890 it's, I think 1890 and 1840, yeah, not much has happened between those two. It looks quite different in the 1600s. And sorry, I was leaving, but then I looked over the wall and I saw something that I'd missed. So we're going to go and look at the thing that I missed, and it's not the memory of Captain Andrew Wade Blythe, who suddenly departed in, when is it? 1847. Or Marion Arbuckle, wife of somebody. It's over here. There's a tombstone sticking out the ground just here that looks like it might be a wee bit interesting. This is quite interesting. Let's see, it's got a winged thing at the top, and here lies, oh wow, this is the parents of Robinson Crusoe, the parents of Alexander Selkirk. The guy inside said, yeah, the family are buried outside there. That is Andrew Selkirk. 1770 something, I think that says. But look at this. He's got lots of shells around his grave. No other grave in here has got that, so yeah, that's cool. Aye, that is nice. That was worth coming back in for. I don't think there's much else to see in this wee corner. Has this got anything written on it? I'm not seeing anything unless it's... Oh, it has. There we go. This is William Wood in memory of James Wood, his father, who died 1821. And just for the sake of completeness, because this will be some sort of record that is there forever, this is John Wallace of... what did I say? Can't read what that says. Anyway, died 1839. And Janet Jameson, his spouse. That is so cool. This has been such a nice wee stop. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon for more.